Hey everyone, a very impromptu video here. I'm doing this off script. This isn't really how I wanted to come off my hiatus, but I thought it was worth talking about. So anyone who's watching this channel is a Berserk fan. Well, 99.9% of you are, I'm sure. And I'm sure you're aware of the news which hit today about on May the 6th, 2021, so this year. Kentaro Miura, the author and creator and artist of Berserk, the Berserk man, passed away. Um, Honestly, I'm still processing it. I can't really put into words how much this series means to me and what it's done for me. Um, I've said this again and again in my videos, but Miura was a master of his craft. The story and the artwork he did in Berserk really brought it to life, and the motion of that series, it was like the still images were jumping out of the page. He was just an amazing author and an amazing accomplished man. He started doing Berserk when he was in his early 20s. Forgive me, I can't remember the exact date, the exact age he was right now, but he's been doing this for most of his adult life, longer than I've been alive, and I think that's crazy and it's inspiring. An amazing creator like Miura who dedicated himself to this work, and you could tell he loved it. I mean, whilst Miura's alive, bless him, there are a lot of jokes about, Idolmaster and hiatus jokes. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to celebrate, his life. And you could tell he really loved doing Berserk. There was no obligation doing it. Each chapter he poured his heart and soul into it. We had the Casca Dream sequences, not even 2 years ago? And those were some of the best chapters in Berserk. And every chapter in Berserk was a banger. It was all leading towards something. And as sad as Miura's death is, the story of Berserk was about celebrating life. It was celebrating living, persevering on, struggling on, even when things look dark and gloomy. There's always going to be a light at the end of a tunnel. I've been rereading some of my volumes today. I've just finished volume 3 now. I'm going to do a whole reread after this in kind of my own kind of way to honor Miura's memory. And in volume 2, in the Guardians of Desire, there's something Puck says to Vargas about how important life is, and it's more important to look towards the future than to avenge someone. And maybe the avenge part doesn't really play into my analogy here, but looking towards the future and the importance of living and life itself, the importance of being human, was the core message of Berserk. And for Miura to kind of convey that throughout the series, it's just a fantastic way to celebrate his life. Berserk was a dark fantasy, but at the end of the day, it was a story about living. And although a lot of fans are going to be grieving right now for this amazing creator, we should take his message to heart about living on for the future. And even if it's a struggle, we'll have people to support us, and we'll get through it. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. There's so much I want to say, but once you get to it, and especially when this isn't scripted, you feel like you can't say anything at all. There was one memory I want to talk about with Berserk. So I haven't been a Berserk fan that long, honestly. I posted on Twitter, I got through my university days. I got into the series around 2016. So I'm relatively fresh, doe-eyed to the series. I knew about it, of course, beforehand. I read snippets, saw a bit of the 97 anime. But before that, my first real exposure was in 2016. And I've been a fan ever since. And all of you who watch Spired, you know how much I love this series and analysing the series. And something which has been in my life for a relatively short amount of time has made such an impact on me. And I wish I could meet Miura now and thank him for, basically saving my life. I think if that series wasn't there for me, I possibly wouldn't be here today. It really did get me through some tough times. And that may seem like an overreaction, but despite Berserk being a dark series, I was in a dark place without it. And starting Spired and doing these videos and kind of growing a community and getting involved with the community a bit around that is something that Miura has given to me and so many others. His legacy is going to be remembered forever. I remember, well, spoilers for Berserk around 2 years ago. Um, it was the chapters when the Roars came out, for when Casca opened her eyes for the first time. After her dreamscape sequence, and after Shirke and Fani cure her, and I remember walking through town. I was holding a bottle of water, and I was sitting on a bench, and I was on my phone, and I saw the Roars come out and read it. And I remember seeing that image of Casca opening her eyes, and it just filled me with, this is a fictional series, but seeing that, it felt like I went on this journey with her, despite being a fan then for not that long, even now, and just seeing that journey go through and seeing her open her eyes, it was a moment of like euphoria for me, and I felt like I was in this journey myself. No other media has ever hit me like that before. Only Berserk. Miura was a fantastic everything writer. He's a fantastic artist. He's a fantastic character writer, especially, and he's a fantastic story writer. Guts, Casca, Griffith, Isidro, Farnese, Serpico, Shirke, Puck. I'm just going to be naming all the characters of Berserk now, but the way he expertly crafted all these stories and how they weaved into each other, but whilst keeping that theme, Berserk evolved with its creator. As Miura got older and he evolved, his story evolved with it. It didn't stay static, and that was a mastercraft to his work. He kind of wrote it on his own terms, and it was his story. It was no one else's story. You hear stories about meddling editor affairs in works, but you could tell a lot of that Berserk was Miura's tale. Guts starting off as a revenge-fueled quest for revenge after the eclipse, and kind of evolving to a protector, evolving to something more, kind of letting his feelings show a bit more to his traveling party, and becoming more somber, becoming more introspective of himself. It's a lot like life, sorry. As we young, we're very emotional, and we don't really know how to process those feelings. And I feel like as you go through Guts' journey, as he comes to terms with what's happened and how he can evolve and improve himself and the lives of others he cares about in his future, everyone goes through that. I think when we're all kind of young, when we're teenagers, you go through moments of, unsureness. You think the world's against you, you're angry at the world, but as you get older, you start to consider the things which are important. And, Guts went through that tale itself. It's a very coming-of-age story, I think Berserk is. And I think that really hits a lot of people, no matter what age you are, because you can relate to it, no matter if you're 16 or if you're 26. There's going to be something there for everyone, I think. And I know I'm rambling a bit now, but, as I said, I didn't want this to be my hiatus video I came off of. Rest assured, I'm still going to do Berserk videos in the future. I think it will be bad of me not to, because I want to honor Miura's memory, because this is my favorite series of all time, and the fact that one man who I've never met has impacted my life so much. It's something I wish I could give back more, but if me talking about Berserk not only gives me solace, but someone else solace, I'll gladly do that. But I just want to say, Miura, thank you for what you've done, not only for me, but for so many others around the world. Berserk was and always will be a masterpiece. We're not going to discuss the future of the series here. No matter what happens to Berserk, it's going to be remembered fondly for what you did for it, because Berserk is Miura's story. And just thank you for all you've done for everyone. I don't know how to end this video, but yeah, thanks Miura. I'm always going to love Berserk and your work.